Hi, Matt. Hello, everyone. And yes, there's absolutely a theme here that's playing out from where Claudia started, the story of Noah and righteousness, and then this whole piece with Pluto and the unearthing of things and so forth. And so, kind of tying on, if you will, with Claudia, she had spoken, of course, about say what you mean what you say, and don't be mean when you say it. And that ties into an element that I was guided to give today about the overall theme of be kind. So this righteousness and be kind, and I'll come back to that. But to also then tie into the Pluto and all the elements that are being unearthed and exposed, and the high colonics and the wheatgrass moments and of society and our lives and our institutions and governments. And it reminds me of the statement, with great power comes great responsibility. And we tend to, in societies and as peoples, we tend to give our power away. And we forget that, are we being manipulated? Are we manipulating ourselves? When you look at the tech giants of Facebook, who owns Instagram, who owns WhatsApp, and it all goes down. And literally, I have to laugh because here they're thatching the grass. They are preparing the grass here for the winter grass, the winter rye. So there's this whole literally kind of violent stripping of the grass and everything just outside my door, so as to renew. And they take the green grass away and it's like scorched earth, and then it's dead and brown, and then they put the winter rye out and it's revitalized, it grows, and you have the beautiful, just rich green. This is the expression, this is the themes that we're looking at. And so with the issues that are facing, and with Facebook, and what they brought to my attention was the Pandora Papers and the Panama Papers. And you'll see how these three elements, this whistleblower with Facebook and the Panama Papers and the Pandora Papers, are all about the uncovering that which has been hidden, and where power has been just manipulated. These algorithms that manipulate our viewership, our interaction. And then what do we do with it? Do we recognize that we're being manipulated? Do we recognize that these artificial intelligence systems are manipulating us? Do we put down, I often say with these elements of our smartphones and so forth, that we say that we're in a state or a time of being so connected, and yet really we're so disconnected. We're disconnected. Jacqueline said, are you leading with your soul? We're so disconnected from our soul source connection. So getting into the messages for this week for the collective, the overall message was be kind. And it's foundational. And they said, be kind to self, to others, to institutions, to nature, to all things, all beings. And the definition of kind is warm, generous, sympathetic, agreeable, caring. So as both Matt and Jacqueline were speaking to the point of, they have the information. They know that the least trait among us is hate, fear, hate, anger. And so they play to the least of our consciousness. And yet the message for the collective this week is be kind, be warm, be generous, be sympathetic, be agreeable, be caring. As Claudia mentioned, be righteous. There's plenty of wicked in the world. Choose to not be that. Choose to be a loyal soul, a loyal source, a loyal essence, not only to others, but to yourself. When you can see that the trend on something like social media is negative and you're getting wound into it, lay it down, step away from it. You may step away from it for weeks if that's what's required, so as to regain a sense of equilibrium and balance. Because ultimately, this whole piece that we're talking about, Matt, this whole piece about the undoing, this stripping, the wheatgrass, the colonics of this. It's all to get us to come back into a state of balance and harmony. So it's to be mindful that the way through, just as it was with Noah, is to be righteous, be kind. The second thing was, in this moment of time, I'm very aware of this, what I'm terming a 6-month slide. And they call it the Great Cosmic Calendar, the Great Cosmic Slide. And we're in this last 3 months of this year. And Matt just mentioned, like, let's see what happens in the next 3 months with Pluto going direct. And then, so we've got October, November, December, January, February, March, and it's a slide. They're showing it to me like when you have the rulers with the little plastic grid and you can move it, and it moves across the numbers. So there's an energy, there is a movement in these next 6 months that is going to be a slide. It's as if we're sliding out of the dark into the light, and that revelation, if you will, is going to be self-evident. It's going to present itself in our lives, in our global lives, in our global interactions, institutions, and this type of thing. And then they said by spring, we're in the quote, all clear. So somewhere coming into April, there's going to be like a breath of fresh air, a renewal. And that is going to be something we all, I'm sure, greatly look forward to in this great cosmic slide of this next 6 months. Additionally, they talked in this moment, coming in towards the end of this month, the end of October, they're talking about fast and furious movement energies, especially towards the end of the month. And they said, flow with the energies, with this force, not against it. So again, be mindful in your own life, in the way you're interacting with yourself, interacting with others, interacting with institutions, governments, businesses, and so forth. Be mindful, be conscious, be kind, take the high road. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean you have to put up with crap, but it does mean that, as Claudia said, don't be mean in how you say it. You don't have to be mean to get your point across. You don't have to step to the lowest level of consciousness, hate, fear, anger, to be successful, to get your point across, to actually achieve your goal. And then they said, and also with this fast and furious movement, they were also talking about the fact that it can mean literal movement, accelerated changes. So while I know astrologically we don't have everything's in air, so we don't have this fire element present, there's still a force. I mean, there's still an element that is intuitively presenting itself, that's saying there can be fast and furious movement energies, rapid literal movement changes, accelerated changes, initiating, starting, happening, commencing towards the end of this month, October, and to flow with them, not to fight against them. And last but not least, and this really speaks to the whole Pandora Papers, Panama Papers, the whistleblower at Facebook, all of these, the Pluto element, all of these things coming out, being unearthed. And they said, epic shifts in the balance of power ahead, politics, institutions, etc. And they mentioned these elements, and they gave this statement: that which comes to light bears light, which means that which comes to light brings the light, the unearthing of it, the literal demonstration of, here's Facebook knowing what they know. Here are world leaders and luminaries and the top 1% knowing that they are hoarding and manipulating the 99% and doing illicit things to maintain their power, their control, their monetary assets. And it's saying that which comes to light bears light. It forces and ushers change. So there's a real statement here that perhaps in this next 6 months, we may see institutions, governments, businesses, these types of things have rapid change. That because of it being unearthed, it ushers in something that happens actually far more rapidly because it just comes under the light. It bears the light. It comes under the pressure of their own undoing. And so I'll leave you this week with be kind.